Nicole Bernard.
Good morning.
I got to be honest. I might be running a couple minutes behind this morning. I might have a confession in a few moments.
Okay. I can't wait to hear it.
How are you today?
I'm good. I was running behind a few minutes too. I made some bread, so I made like the dough before hopping on here. Yeah. Well, because today's pizza day at school. We don't actually have hot lunches, and so I asked our exchange student if she wanted, Domino's pizza, and she was like, no. I was like, okay. So I make like some fresh bread, and I got some cheeses and like some fruit and stuff for her lunch today. So.
You know what's funny about that is that as a mother, as an adult, you're thinking all up until this moment about, okay, I'm going to offer her Domino's pizza. You're thinking, oh, it's great. It's American. It's perfect decision. She probably maybe hasn't had it here in America. So you're building up to the moment where in your head, it's the perfect offer for her. So you're like, hey, how about some Domino's pizza? I think I lost your audio. I know you're messing with the new mic.
Oh, I muted myself somehow.
Okay. But I was saying that you're thinking it's all perfect, and you're like, okay, Caroline, here, let's have some Domino's pizza. No.
Nope. So I went and got like brie cheese. I got Havarti. I got fresh bread.
Oh my goodness, that is funny. That is really funny. Thanks for making me laugh. It gets me going with the third cup of coffee this morning here, because I got to make my confession here in a few moments to our mornings in the Lab Nation. So we got a big show today. Yeah,
we do.
We do have a big show today. Yeah, we have Michael Kainatsky is coming up here soon. In about 10 minutes, we're gonna bring him into the lab. The guy is solving a $1 trillion problem. Not a million, not a billion, not a few 100,000, but $1 trillion problem. So Michael's coming in, and then we have somebody who's popping in here today who is going to reveal his audacious goal at the bottom of the hour or so. So the third one on the list officially, right? You, the ultra marathon, me, with this talk show thingy going on here, and then coming up, Anthony Muhye, I think I pronounced his last name. Anthony's coming up here later on today as well to reveal his audacious goal. And then we're inviting anybody else here listening and anybody else who wants to join in. Audacious Goal Fridays coming up that we can get you all to your next goal and objective. How was your day yesterday? How was your night?
It was great. She's never made cupcakes, and she learned about cupcakes at school yesterday. So we made cupcakes from scratch, which was super fun. And we watched Legally Blonde. So.
Oh, well, that's two really fun things to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of pink going on at our house yesterday.
Of pink. Yeah. So are you a buttercream icing house, or what kind of icing are you guys in your house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we actually did just do a simple buttercream and put a little bit of red dye in there and made it pink, and then we did some pink sprinkles.
Oh, well, there you go. They're awesome. And then you sat down and devoured them.
No, we have a few, so some will go for lunch today. But yeah, it was really fun just to bake. So
yeah. So I need to pause the show for a second. I need to call somebody out who I know is tuning in right now, who I think this might be kind of pretty cool. I got to call this out. So I went to school with somebody, high school with somebody, like years ago, maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's not that long, I'm sure. Maybe 10-year reunion.
That's 100%. Yeah, you take 12 months. So I noticed that people are tuning in, and I had somebody knock on the door listening in all the way from somewhere here in Manitoba, Canada, I think, or maybe Alberta. I don't know, actually, to be honest with you. But my good old friend Angela is tuning in, and she said, hey, the enthusiasm hasn't waned. I'm like, no, I don't think so. Nope, I think we still have some ambition going on here.
Were you this much of a go-getter in high school?
I think so. Yeah, I think I might have been out to make some differences. I don't know. I kind of went to the tune of my own drum.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that seems to have worked for me in the past, and it seems to have worked for me so far. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How was the rest of your day yesterday besides the cupcakes and Legally Blonde?
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of work stuff, like client work and like coursework. So not so many meetings, which is nice. Today's more meetings.
Awesome.
How'd your talk go yesterday?
Oh, my show went really well. I had Christian Espinosa on the show.
Mm-hmm.
The guy has done. So I'm going to make an exaggerative point just to hook everybody to go check the show out when we publish it. It's good later today, I suspect. Yeah, the guy's ran like 1,000 ultra marathons, and hundreds of Ironmans. He's climbed a couple of mountains. He's almost died a couple times.
On mountains or
no, just in life general. He's had blood clots. He's a veteran. Wow. We had an exceptional conversation, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you would dig him. You'd I'm gonna bring him back. We should bring him back in the morning. Now he's off to solve some pretty incredible problems in the medical device field on the cybersecurity, on the cyber device side. Really thoroughly enjoyed my chat with Christian. I'm excited to welcome him back for round 2. So I'll tell you, you know how I like to learn things. Mm-hmm. So I learned something yesterday from Christian Espinosa, and I learned that I coined a new term for guys like him and John Anderson. It's called the Espinosa effect. And it's this idea that an hour is just simply not enough with these guys.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? You look at their stories, you're like, oh my goodness, I need maybe a few hours with you. It's almost like the Rogan effect, right? You need to have a little conversation going on there. So,
dude, we should have like a mastermind or like a day, like a summit or something, and have all these guys come in and talk. Like, we could like have breakout rooms with them or something.
I love that. So you know what we're going to do too? I'm glad you said that, Nicole, because that's a good tease for, and I just got to pause some time today to organize this, which is the Neurodiversity Summit. I've got some pretty awesome people. Sean Nason, Catherine McCord, AJ Zeglin, Trisha Edwards, and then yourself, myself. I'm going to pull that up here in the next couple of weeks, get a good conversation. I've thoroughly enjoyed my conversations, and I want to shine some light to that, right? Let's keep shining light to that and keep driving awareness around that, right? So,
totally.
All right, so maybe I should reveal my confession.
Did you eat peanut butter? You fell asleep or something?
No, not the peanut butter part, but maybe the latter part. It's maybe the relatable part for the nation here. So why don't I just turn this on here? Let's just see here. I'll just turn some. Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was a later night last night than normal. Well, maybe later night than last night than normal. I don't know.
Hockey, right?
It was hockey. Yes, we won. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Carter made his way to the next round, and they only made it because of words. Long story, irrelevant. Anyways, it was a little later night than normal. And got up as normal with the dogs. Boom, no problem at all. But then, Nicole, I took the dogs out, sat down on the couch, just as I was about to brew my cup of coffee, fumbling with my switch to turn the lights on. My eyes closed. You know where I'm going with this, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lo and behold, I awakened at a frantic time of just before 6. 55 minutes past, Nicole. My dedicated time to get up, my routine start. Immediately, Nicole Bernard, my day is off by 55 minutes. So I'm frantic. I'm like, oh my goodness. Because I got to tell you why. Because I wanted to unveil a brand new thumbnail for our show today.
Yeah.
It's Audacious Goal Fridays, Nicole.
It's true. But you know, you're human. I mean, it happens.
So I took some time to learn. Like I've sat here in the show and learned from many people. And I paused and I reflected on the mission. And it's not to be perfect in the moment. It's about to progress.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to my team who've been working on it frantically for me throughout the evening. My team, one person. Awesome. Celine, she is the best ever. Cheers to Celine. And I get up and I'm frantically having my cup of coffee, trying to awaken my brain. Second cup of coffee. I post the announcement for today's show because I don't think that I'm going to get the thumbnail in time. And then it comes. So allow me, Nicole Bernard, to introduce you to the brand new Audacious Goals Friday thumbnail for Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Nicole. Can I show you?
Yeah, please. Oh, I love it.
Eh? That's pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty good? And
I love the clapping in the background too. That's just it's awesome.
Hey, so we're making things happen here. We're celebrating the people that we're bringing onto the show, and and we'll even jack up the tunes for the next time around. But Nicole Bernard, I come on, Anthony Muhye, Michael Kainatsky, I think it's Konietzky, coming up here today. So you just turn it around, and from that moment on, I was like, yes. I was on the treadmill, Nicole Bernard. My pace picked up. I ran over to the side of the wall. I uploaded the thumbnail. My heart rate came down.
I love it.
And look what happened.
It's awesome. Oh, you got a comment that it's beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I think it's there you go. See, look at that. I think it's pretty. Thanks, John. I think it's pretty good too. We're trying some new things out. I thought it was pretty good in the moment there, but we're happy to have that on. Who's in the room here right now, Nicole? We have Michael Kainatsky joining us here. So why don't I figure out the background? Why don't you bring in Michael? I'm going to do this over here, and.
Okay, add to stage. That's what I do, right? Add to stage.
That's exactly what. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're learning on the air. See, we're just learning every day, every week. We get progressively better here. Mornings in the Lab. Michael, it's Konietzky, right?
It has been everything but the right thing for 36 years. So I'm counting all the ways in which people can butcher it. When we came here in the United States, I used to have an H in it, and that just screwed people up completely. It's actually as easy as it is. It's Kainatsky.
Oh, Kainatsky.
Like Kainatsky, yeah.
Okay.
But I've heard it all, so that's kind of it's always been funny since I was a kid. I think at one point we were like, we're just going to remove the H and see if it makes it better. It didn't. It didn't. So on my Facebook, I completely removed the back part. I made it Michael Caine. Now nobody can find me. They're like, who the hell is Michael Caine? I just started messing with people. Not the actor.
Isn't there an actor with that name?
Yes, there is. A very good one. But he's a C-A-I-N, I believe. C-A-I-N. C-A-I-N.
That's right. That's right. So, Michael, thanks for joining us, man. I know that you and I have been chatting back and forth in the brand build community. We've been building a connection over here on LinkedIn as well. I have to call Michael out here. He has been one of our biggest supporters. Since we've met, he's been behind our content. He's been supportive of it. He's been active with it, engaging with it. Because listen, we know that in this community on LinkedIn and Michael on Brand Build, we only get out of it what we put into it, right? And Michael has been awesome. And I'll also make this statement too. Michael might laugh. It might be controversial, but people get all this pod stuff. Oh, pods. No, I got an idea. How about you just engage with people? And when people like you, they engage back. And then when they engage back, we get is Michael Kainatsky in my pod and Nicole's pod? No, I just happen to like the guy. And he actually engages with my stuff and Nicole's stuff. So I'm like, all right, come on my show, let's talk. And you know what happens with Michael? Michael gets exposure. People talk to him. He gets to network with people. Oh, anyways, there's my rant.
How many cups of coffee did you have?
This is my third one. See, I told you it was once we had this new thumbnail, it was just the greatest thing. Like, check this out. It's just spectacular about how, the featuring the guests, it just makes me so happy.
I love how you Googled a photo of me from like my last corporate job.
Well, so listen,
The internet is wonderful.
I got it. So I will say,
depths of the internet.
I will say
If
full.
I knew you were going to use that picture, I would have dressed differently.
I will say full confession. I will say full confession. It was a scramble to get something up because I, as you may have heard or may not heard, I had a little different morning this morning than I would have liked, and I wanted to reveal my new thumbnail. I wanted to get out the I had a different plan to get some pre-promo stuff out. I had a kids hockey game that was late last night. So I said to Nicole before you got on, it was a stressful moment for the first few days, the first few moments. Like we all can relatably have, Michael. You're like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be at my meeting, but I'm running 45 minutes late.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was the compromise, pal. So we'll get the right one because I know you sent me the right one. I know it was important to you to have the right one. And then we kind of messed it up.
No, it's okay. I just, that corporate photo is not really.
I know. Yeah. So
I'm like, oh.
That's a good segue. So there you go. Here's a good host can turn something into an opportunity because you're not a corporate guy at all. I've looked at your profile and
I mean, anymore.
Anymore. No.
I raged against that machine.
Dude, I read my success was never a foregone conclusion. I'll paraphrase this. In fact, it was literally the exact opposite. Problems always found me either on my own or others. I have in so many interesting varieties. We'll insert the F word there because we're on morning show this morning. It's made me really good at problem solving. I love, and I'm going to invite everybody to go check out Michael Kainatsky's profile on LinkedIn. I love that you were very vulnerable and you're about yourself on what you do because you do. Nicole, he solves $1 trillion problems because he stumbled onto it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, by kind of being a hookup.
It's interesting. So I'm proud to say that out of all the F-ups that I've actually been a part of or, have done, this $1 trillion problem is not one that I have contributed to.
No.
Just for the record.
Yes.
I stumbled upon it. And the thing that actually, I don't actually, I love how you guys have this audacious goal thing because I don't believe it's an audacious goal. Everyone tells me it's audacious.
Oh yeah.
Because every time I talk to people, they go, that's insane. You're never going to fix this. That's like, this is a problem that's going to go back to, pyramids. And I'm like, guys, this is a problem that I feel like, when no one talks about something and then you bring it up and they're like, it never occurred to me. That type of reaction that somebody gives you. And this has happened consistently since basically I left the corporate world, where at first I thought I was onto something kitschy, like, oh, I'm just going to post this on LinkedIn and see what happens. Like, oh, look, turnover $600 billion a year. That's like the national defense spend.
Yeah.
Look at that. Companies are spending enough on turnover as much as the US is spending to protect itself overseas. And I was like, okay, it was just a thing I did, right? But as I kind of moved along, I noticed the trend, which was, it was growing crazy, right? And then I started digging deeper and I realized that there was very few people talking about this. So I realized, I wonder if there's an opportunity to do something with this, but there's a big problem with it. And you probably know about this. If you want to solve a problem, you cannot solve it by approaching the people who are causing it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And help them solve it. You can't say, hey, you're effing this up. Let's fix it. Because they're like, what do you mean we're effing this up?
No, they don't like that. They don't want to hear that.
They don't want to hear that. And I had a revelation very recently. I talked to this amazing guy who I personally would tell you, you should have talk on the show too. His name is Marcus Newcomb. And he said to me, he used to be a very senior level executive at HR, big name companies. And he said to me, he now is an HR consultant and advisor. And he said, when I was in HR, when I left, I started going to the people or my cohorts and I started trying to represent this, some problems that I felt in HR. And he was like, what I realized as a former HR executive, I can't sell to HR. He's like, they're the problem. And this is an HR exec telling me. He's like, I can't sell to the people because they are the problem. I left and now I realized that all along the problem is this. So the problem why it's so audacious is that in order, most people say like, hey, can you do this without ruffling feathers? There's a $2 trillion problem that exists. Everybody knows about it. Anyone who has a job knows about it. Anyone who's looking for a job, they know about it. You'd be surprised how many people I talk to weekly, that I try to help through the problem that are looking for work. And I don't mean just people that are like just entry level. I had somebody reach out to me yesterday asking me for help, and it blew my mind. And I looked at his resume, like he had former CEO of a massive corporation on it. Massive. I mean, like if I told you the name, you'd be like, this guy's the former CEO, and he's reaching out to me asking me for help. And I'm thinking, there's a whole problem where people who used to run major organizations don't know how to look for work, or maybe are so frustrated with the process that they're just giving up with the traditional methodology. Corporations I talk to are constantly complaining, saying we can't find good people, even though there's thousands of applicants. So I really believe that there's by the way, I love this elevator music in the background.
It's just nice to get the morning going.
Well, it makes me feel like I'm riding from the first to the 88th floor in the city. People just keep packing into the elevator. I'm just like,
hey, at least I know you guys can hear it, and it kind of works for the background. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't think that when I saw your profile and I saw what the problem you were solving. So yes, I thought it was audacious, but you know what I loved about it? I love that it was very specific, and you're very much speaking in a world of very clear communicative language. You just stood up and said, "I'm going to solve this problem." And you're speaking to the right people who want to hear what you're saying. You know, I'm not saying I'm going to come save you $100 a week or $1,000 a month. No, there's $1 trillion problem here, and I can help you solve it.
Most people don't realize it's a problem, and the ones that realize. And I had a conversation yesterday with an awesome guy, by the way, somebody from Brand Build. And I said, look, he's a private equity guy, and I said, when you're valuing companies or putting companies up for sale, do you, when you're buying them and investing, let's say, or do the people that are giving you money, does it ever get brought up? Hey, by the way, like, can we talk about the turnover costs and the issues and attrition? And he's like, no, actually, no, not really. And I'm like, oh, wow. And I thought to myself, and then he said to me, Michael, you are onto something that is massive. And every time I talk to a financial person, so I could talk, I used to talk to like VPs of sales. Pointless. I don't want to talk to the VP of sales, right? Because they don't care. They just need people on their teams. A lot of times they're not responsible for hiring.
Right.
HR people, they're KPI driven. All they care about is checking boxes, closing out recs. Something I saw a quote and it blew my mind. And somebody had interviewed a bunch of CEOs, and they're like, what do you prefer, hiring efficiently or hiring with precision? And most CEOs are like, efficiency. So imagine that. They care about efficient hiring rather than precision hiring because they want it to be fast. They want it to be easy and cheap. And you heard the saying, right? Good, fast, and cheap.
Yes.
Pick two.
Yes.
They pick two with the expectation of the third. Not, well, it isn't. If you do it fast and good, it isn't cheap. They're like, well, how about fast, good, and cheap?
Right.
So to me, the issue is the fact that they don't realize what the costs are, because and this is, again, I'm not an accountant, but if you look at any publicly traded company, I mean, Keith, you sold a company. Think about your own company, right? You weren't public, but think about your balance sheet, your P&L. Every time you had an accountant, have you ever done this with an accountant when you had a company? When you go through and go, what is our annual turnover cost? What have we lost this year to attrition? Positive, negative, what is the cost to us? And, one of the things that really hit me, and this is something I started thinking about with all the layoffs and all the technology that was happening recently, and everybody's like constantly talking about it. I'm like, and if you look at statistics, right, you think about big companies, amazing companies, and people don't realize it. Like, you look at on my site, I didn't even put, my site is nothing but a slam in the face of just obviousness, because if you go to click on the top left of the Alinea logo right on the top left, you'll see there's just statistics. Yes. And like Amazon alone, look at that. They spend $8 billion on turnover. Just Amazon.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I had no idea.
So and that's the reaction I want, by the way, because when I bring this up to people, they always say to me like, oh, well, that, is that a rounding error at Amazon? Maybe. But here's the thing. Take a look at Apple. Apple's turnover is 2%. 2%. Every 2 years, they lose people for the most part. They have short tenure. Imagine going back to 1982, 83, where Steve Jobs was building the company and his attrition rate was 20, 30, 40%. Where would the iPhone be today? Would it be an Apple product? Or would it be a Google, a Microsoft, an IBM product, because those people would have been poached and would have walked away because they wouldn't care about culture. They wouldn't have cared about what they're doing. All they would have cared about is, oh, there's more money. Who cares about culture? Let's leave. But Steve Jobs didn't care about that. He knew to build something with innovation, you need to find the people, inspire them, and have them stick around to create greatness. The best quote from Steve Jobs to me that resonates, and it should resonate with everyone, is the thing he's proud of most isn't the products they built, but assembling the team that built the products.
Oh, I like that.
That to me is the thing by which everything I do and everything I operate on is based on that notion. It doesn't matter what you are trying to do if you don't have the people that are going to be able to do it. And if they don't do it for you, they will do it for someone else. So you better keep the great people that you attract, keep on coming to work and inspired, right? And these are the types of things that I think most people aren't thinking about, because here's the biggest problem in corporations, why I break a lot of eggs when I have conversations with HR. People that have KPI driven requirements at their jobs in all companies, the way they operate is, if the mistake happens, it's not my fault. I did my job. So there's no penalties for mishiring and doing it cheaply and making mistakes. Then they go on the other side. There's no incentives for them to do it the right way. So they're not incentivized to fix it, and they're not penalized for breaking it. So what are you going to have? Repetitive, efficient mistakes that repeat themselves generation to generation to generation. And at the top level, the big companies, revenue hides a multitude of sins. They don't even notice it. Yeah, 20, 30% turnover. Got it. You know, I stopped working with big corporations. You know, I had a client that I used to work with that I stopped. They had 70% turnover. I told them every single day, here's how you fix it. Here's your problems. And you know what they said to me? We're talking about it. I'm like, you guys are publicly traded. If somebody found out what your turnover rate is, your stock, which by the way had been like up 300% in like 10 years, I'm like, your stock would tank if people knew you guys were churning employees, your revenue generating employees at the rate that you are. So it's audacious, this goal, because the first part isn't about fixing. First part is people realizing we have a problem. This is like, honestly, this is like RA, Recruiters Anonymous. Like, hey, guys, let's go through 12-step. Let's realize we don't know how to do this. Let's realize the system is broken. Let's all acknowledge that the process sucks. And by the way, I'm not just blaming companies. I'm also blaming candidates. And this is where the part will probably blow your mind. Candidates are doing this process too, because what they're doing is, instead of understanding that it's broken, they're leaning into, oh, I'm not getting responses. I'm getting ignored. I'm not getting into the interviews that I want to. Let me go out and let me apply to another 300 jobs because it must be a volume thing. And what ends up happening, and this is the disengagement problem, and this is the part where nobody really talks about too much, they end up applying to 300 jobs. They get, let's say, 10 people that respond. They're like, thank God. They go to 5 interviews that are final. Okay, great. They get 3 offers. They're like, oh, awesome. Now I can choose. But the problem is 3, 4, 5 months after choosing one of those 3 offers out of the 300 they applied to, they realize they don't like their job. And then they wonder why. And the answer is really simple, because they never chose the job they took. They applied to unlimited jobs and someone chose their choices for them. So they had to choose from a limited choice that was given to them, but they never wanted that job. They just needed a job. That's where the disengagement part starts, because nobody owns their job search. It's owned for them because we're given, it's a paradox of choice. Here's 3 things, pick a job. Well, I guess this is the best one out of them all. And a lot of people don't look at it that way, because when they need a job, they need a job. But imagine if I said, take your wife, put her in a room of 10 people. Would you still select her? You'd say, yes, great. 6, same wife. And I'm going to give you a room of 1,000 women. Will you still select her? And chances are probably not. And that's why decisions are made, because of a limited pool of choices. And that's why you have turnover and disengagement at work.
You know, I have to say this. So in a world of sound bites, you summed up the last 6 minutes, 7 minutes with that last statement that'll hook anybody, because I've never thought about it that way. You know, yes, if you just have to hire somebody, you're going to hire your wife or your kid. But the moment you put your wife or your kid in I'll say your wife or Nicole, your husband, in a room of 1,000 people, you're absolutely not hiring them. That right there, business acumen, is the perfect delivery.
Not.
No, but that's the perfect delivery and metaphor for what we're trying to do here on the show, which is entertain and inform. Because you could have delivered that in a really boring way, but you delivered that with that nice little bite where that's going to, some CEO or CFO is going to look around this morning thinking about this going, holy, he's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's an obvious problem.
But I don't want to be right. You know what I want?
Yeah.
People tell me I'm right all the time. What I want is people to say, Michael, this is not a crusade. Because, crusades are generally one guy who's trying to, solve the world's problems and, everything's against them. And it's like, it's always a tragic story.
Yes.
The real thing is can enough financial leaders, can enough people who understand the problem exists and really by committee get involved and say, what are we doing? This is like a generational problem, right?
Yes.
Jack Welch, by the way, started this problem. He was great for what his ideas were, but it's the idea of shareholder equity that created the idea that employees were completely 100% transferable. That's where it came from. Hey, we need to get short-term gains, lay off 20% of your people. It's proven layoffs are actually much more costly, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you still have to fund it. You have to, all the talent that leaves, all this stuff is just, it's broken. But who's going to incentivize somebody to fix it?
Yeah, it's true. All right. So Michael Kainatsky, thanks for joining us. And you're going to stick around, right? Fantastic. Good. You're going to stick around because we have our Audacious Goal Fridays announcement coming up. We're coming up here. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a minute break so we can refresh coffees. And truthfully, here's the opportunity, Business Athlete Nation, for you guys to get involved in the show. Now, I'm going to put a banner here right now, which is going to show like a 1 minute timer coming down. But anybody who wants to invest right now and be a partner in this show and see what we're doing here and recognize that every single day we do this, we're only getting more expensive. I'm going to put a little banner up. You can have your name there. You can have your, little announcement. And I'm telling you, this content we're creating, we entertain, inform. People will see it. They'll listen to it, watch it. Right, Nicole? So.
Mm-hmm.
We've said, Konietzky, we've said it's only getting more expensive every single day. So you're going to watch Now Nation for a minute, and Keith and Nicole's minutes are generally a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's like the bartender trick where you can squeeze like 28 ounces out of a 26-ounce bottle. Good bartender, right?
Nice.
We are going to come back in about a minute and a few seconds. We're going to bring in Anthony Muhye with his Audacious Goal announcement. And I'm going to reveal to those that are tuning in late, Nicole and Michael, I'm going to reveal just a quick second of some stress with what we're going to reveal to Nation, what we unveiled, the brand new thumbnail for Audacious Goal Fridays. All right. Okay. So go get your coffees. Everybody listening, go grab your coffees. We're coming back for a massive announcement. We're going to help somebody achieve their audacious goal in a minute. See you soon. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we're back. Business Athlete Nation, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Nicole. Nicole's just refreshing her coffee. Michael Kainatsky joins us here this morning. Coming up here in a moment, Anthony Muhye, and I'm going to reveal here, guys. I'm going to reveal a little bit of stress here that came up this morning because I was running a little bit late. But Anthony Muhye, allow me to show you the brand new thumbnail unveiling Audacious Goal Fridays. Hey, there we go.
That is beautiful.
For everybody to see here on the show here, I thought it was pretty spectacular. I think that it represents the show well. It's so there you have it.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Yes, I thought so too. I thought so. There you go. Yeah. So hey, one man producing the show here. So I'm from the technical side of things. So I'm just trying to put things out. Anthony Muhye, we met on LinkedIn.
Yes, and it was a great meeting. You taught me something very important. I'm going to do it all of the show. Keep my eyes on the camera.
Yes, exactly. But let's go even back before that. We met because, I don't know, we met in the feeds and you knocked on my door. We knocked back. We went back and forth and you're like, hey, let's grab a coffee. So we grabbed a coffee this week, a virtual coffee. And I said, you revealed to me that you're like, hey, Keith, I have this goal that I'm working on. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then I kind of sat on my head, and then that later that day I texted you back. I said, "Why don't you come on the show on Friday and announce your goal so that we can get behind you, support you, and just put you up on the mountaintop, shine all the lights, and mirror it, and help Anthony Muhye achieve his big audacious goal."
And it's an honor to be here. Honestly, I'm so happy to be here with you, with Nicole, and with Michael. Michael, I loved your talk, by the way. I just connected with you. And I need to start with an intro. It's a funny intro. The power of the mind, the power of conditioning. I had a lot of allergies just now. I was sneezing. I said, this can't continue. I cannot get on the show with this sneezing and all this sniffling. So I put an allergy pill right here next to me. And I forgot. And suddenly I wasn't sneezing anymore. I was feeling drowsy, feeling sleepy. And I hadn't taken the pill. So it was in my mind that I had taken the pill. It was crazy because I felt like I didn't have the allergy anymore. So that's the power of the mind. I just wanted to share that. So random, so off topic, but wanted to share that crazy thing.
No, but I appreciate you sharing that. We're trying to make a show that's relatable, that people can identify with. And I can guarantee you, people that go into meetings or go into public conversations or into situations where they're like, oh man, I want to represent myself in a certain way. And you're stressed out in the moment. You had to slow everything down and you show up here today with the key message being you just showed up and look what's happening. Magic's happening right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I'd love to share my idea, my goal, my mission. Not sure where to start. By the way, just wanted to clear something up. My last name, nobody gets it right. It's crazy.
Okay.
Muhye.
Muhye. Okay. So we learned something today. I learned something today, Nicole. That I got to find it. We will find a way to. And I think I did a pretty good job with Konietzky. Michael.
Close-ish.
No, what is it?
Kainatsky. Think about skiing. Cannot ski.
Oh, there you go. Cannot ski. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
See, here's the good thing about this whole entertain and inform stuff is that when you mess up and make mistakes, you can make light of it. And then at the same time, as a marketer, somebody's listening right now. They're going, okay, I'll never forget this guy's last name. So because I've now spoken for the last 34 seconds about Michael Kainatsky's last name, nobody's going to forget the guy solving $1 trillion problem. Like, honest to God. Right. But Anthony Muhye, who I also butchered his last name, but I'm also doing a great job. So nobody will forget these two guests today because the host was butchering their last names. Anthony, let's shine the light back on you, my friend. What's the audacious goal? What is your audacious goal you're going to put on stage? Because you're coming back here now. Now that you're stating it, now that you're making it public, you are a friend of the lab. You are an Audacious Goal Friday member of the lab. Oh, I thought my camera went down. You are a member of the lab here. So what's the goal, pal?
My goal? Well, I believe that all these technical people out there, these technical consultants, especially in founders, they know a lot of things. They know some amazing, incredible things, but they don't know how to communicate them. And this has been a problem I've worked with for a long time, but only now I've decided to make this into a business. I want to help people. Oh, Keith is off. Is Keith offline?
He's still there. He's at backstage. There he is.
I'm actually putting something up to promote you.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay. So what I wanted to tell you was, I feel that a lot of these technical founders, which are people in chemistry, energy, manufacturing, engineering, they have a common problem. They can explain things in their own way, in their own language, but they don't reach the people that they want to reach because people don't speak that language. It's like trying to speak in Russian with somebody who speaks Greek. You're not going to get there, right? So what I'm doing now is I'm approaching these people in the form of thanks, Keith, in the form of service which helps people social sell, which is reach people on social media and just be able to approach them in their own language and talk to them in the way that they want to hear, and be able to sell them services, to bring them in as hires, to just be able to communicate with them properly. And that's my system. That's what I talk about here on my profile, which is social sales coaching for consultants. It's drifting more towards technical consultants, people who they're too technical. And I have an engineering background and a writing background. So these two worlds, they collide in my case. And I've worked with people that have suffered with this so much. They just can't explain complicated subjects like catalysis or quantum computing in a simple way, because it's not simple.
Can I just say I love the fact that you said it's like speaking Russian, and literally you have, out of the people that are on here, one of them speaks Russian fluently.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's a good example. I missed it.
Very good example.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Because I think it's really hard for people to be able to understand like what you're saying and speak, and just so what you're going to be able to do to bridge that gap is going to be huge.
Yes. And I have a lot of things in mind, which is written content, video content. It's all coming together now. I'm working with some people's team to make this happen, which is basically to help these people communicate. Because at the end of the day, these are some really top high-level people who should be reaching this massive audience, and they're not, because people just don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, no, totally. And how long have you, how long have you had your business?
The business is actually new. I told Keith this just before the call. This is an idea. This is my audacious goal, because I want to release it this year. I've been doing this for about 5-6 years now, but I want it to be a business, a full-blown business. Awesome.
And so so this is your announcement. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what's inspiring about this, because as Anthony said to me, Nicole and Michael, you had been doing something else. Was this just 3 weeks ago you stepped out, or how long ago how long ago did you step out to become a solopreneur, and I'm doing this on my own? When did this start?
Well, I mean, I've been doing actually since being a solopreneur and freelancer since 2015.
Okay.
My story is a really crazy one, actually. I was living in Venezuela, and I imagine you know by now the Venezuela crisis went through, like crazy crisis. I was making about $10 a month, $10, and it was crazy. Goodness. I was trying to teach, trying to do some anything to get money at the time. And a friend of mine, she's from Tennessee. She told me, look, stop teaching, get on this as a freelancer. This is Upwork. Not sure if you know Upwork. And I started there, and I started actually making money, started changing my life. And I realized, wow, I could help so many other people do this. So I started coaching as a freelance coach. But it took me to newer levels where I realized there were higher profile clients I could work with, who are now consultants, and specifically consultants in the technical fields. And that's what I've been doing since then. I mean, I'm working with people as a solopreneur, but this is something I've been doing for a long time now. And it's changed my life entirely, and I want to change the life of other people too. That's
inspiring. It's inspiring that you're stepped out doing your own thing now, and you're out to solve a very specific problem. And Michael Kainatsky, it's not lost upon me that you guys maybe speak to some similar audiences, right? And the fact that you're here today, you speak Russian, and then we're connecting today collaboratively. Also, I'd say Nicole Bernard really supports the vision of the show, is bringing people together, having great conversations, entertaining conversations, and supporting new creators, new business, business creators like Anthony here on the show. So this is awesome. This excites the heck out of me. How do people get a hold of you, Anthony?
Honestly, I have several ways to get a hold of me. If you want to use LinkedIn, I'm right there. You can message me. You can anywhere you want. I have an email too. Our website is under construction, so preferably my email. It's the same name. It's anthonymuhye@gmail.com. I'm still using a Gmail. That's a bit shameful right now, isn't it? But I'm setting up my company. It's good. Starting a company is never easy. I'm sure you know this.
Yes.
Lots of steps.
The amount of experience. Keith, I mean, I'm amazed by his story, his company's story. He told me on a coffee call. Sorry, and he's a visionary.
Wow, that's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. I what caught me about your profile too, Anthony, was your header. I think you deliver a good lesson. So Nicole and I are working with Naomi Rose Everly, who comes in and does LinkedIn profile. Nicole, not teardowns, but reviews. I learned yesterday from my friend, from a messaging marketing perspective, maybe the language we were using was a little bit hard and kind of intimidating to people. So we're going to rephrase it. We're going to do LinkedIn profile reviews, which I like that, because that's really what we're doing. Is reviewing somebody's profile and helping to make improvements. Nicole, look at Anthony's profile. It's spectacular. The colors.
Yes. I love it.
You're very human. Like your face is out there. You're straight and center. I think it's a great profile that you've put together to and even suggest what you're selling. Not suggest, tell what you're selling. Very specific in your profile. I think you've done a really good job telling me as a potential buyer what I get from Anthony Muhye if I come to his LinkedIn profile. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think it's a really great.
Spot on.
Absolutely,
you,
absolutely. Hey, Michael, any questions for Anthony? What are you thinking?
I think it's super impressive. I think all amazing stories and triumphs come out of some pretty tough moments, and I think his experience in Venezuela, you know what I would say, it's maybe not dissimilar, right? I think Venezuela is this really crazy, was at least, right, crazy communist country with dictatorship. So I can attest, having been in communist Russia. But I think the story is amazing. You know, what I love about I saw the post here just now that's like, you know, ignore the algorithm and I still made 10,000 euro despite the algorithm taking a dump. That is very compelling stuff. And I can tell you that is the stuff that most people are concerned with. So, you know, I personally am super curious, because everybody, you know, all we talk about, right? We're in a whole group of brand build. All we talk about is how do we get the algorithm to work in our favor? How do we get more of this? How do we get more of that? And a lot of people, I mean, listen, you, Anthony, you might be able to answer this better, but it's not about hours on the platform, right? It sucks you in, and you think it's about hours on the platform, and you're like, okay, I got to do more. I got to comment more. I got to do a lot of crazy stuff, but there's got to be probably a much better way that still generates the results you want, right? And that's the part that I think people are going to be really curious to hear about.
I will. I could not agree more with you, Michael. And you know, as we work towards wrapping up our show here, and you know, and Anthony joining us here to talk Audacious Goal Fridays. He's here to launch his business. We're now full on board, so Anthony's going to be jumping on the show regularly to see where he's at, promote where he's at, and we're going to help support Anthony to achieve his goals. So if you're looking to make LinkedIn bring you dollars, not just likes and followers, you're going to want to follow you know, Anthony's journey here on LinkedIn and on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Nicole. You know, you talk about that algorithm, and I said it yesterday, Michael, Anthony, you just got to put good content out, right? And not worry about whatever, you know, you put good content out, engage with people. And I'll tell everybody else a secret too, that we've learned, Keith and Nicole have learned, and I guess I'll reveal the secret. Might as well, because we're here to help people, is this 1 hour of our time, 2 hours of our time, having engaging, entertaining conversation during the morning time slot in North America, the greatest business decision of my life. Might be actually the great, because from an engagement networking perspective, what's happening to Keith and Nicole is unbelievable. So I'll invite anybody who's listening to come join the show, because we're having the conversation anyways. And people, you know, when I'm meeting people like, hey, do you want to go for a Zoom? Or people are saying, hey, do you want to go for a Zoom? Do you want to go for Nicole with a Zoom meet? Like, no, why don't you come on the show? We'll have a great conversation. We'll record it, because what's going to happen now is Anthony's going to get some great content to share with Nation. Michael's going to get some great content to share with Nation, and this content lives on forever. So I was going to have it anyways with Anthony. I was going to have it anyways with Michael. So why don't we have it here on the show and make some great content and promote people and shine the light on people, Nicole Bernard?
That's what we're here to do, right?
That's exactly it. So Anthony, what you got? So I know you're wrapping your day. Well, I guess you're midday in Spain, right? You're coming to us from Spain.
Yeah.
What's going on for the rest of your day today?
I haven't had lunch actually, so that's the first thing I have to do. And next up, I mean, it's Friday, more relaxed. It's been great being on this call, because it's a great way to end the week with a nice because it's like networking, but at the same time it's entertainment. So it's great. It's great what you're doing, Keith. Great what you're doing, Nicole. Thanks for your comments, Michael. I didn't get to answer them. We can talk by DMs. I did want to call somebody out here. He still should be here. Yeah, he left some messages. John Swiston. He's from Winnipeg. So maybe you could talk with him. He's from Winnipeg, so he's pretty close. I actually showed him your profile, Keith, and he said, well, I can't find the message right now because he said that's basically Winnipeg.
Yeah, well, I am Winnipeg. So Headingley is 6 minutes away from the perimeter, which is where Winnipeg is. I just choose to live outside of the perimeter, so I got a little more space, and my taxes might be a little different, and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, but I'm in Winnipeg. 100% I'm in Winnipeg. Absolutely. Oh, I didn't know. Hey, John, what's shaking, man? Winnipeg, go Jets. Yeah, they won last night. Yeah, we clinched a playoff spot last night, Nicole.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, exactly. Michael, what do you got going on for the rest of your day? And I know you're just starting your day over there in New York. What do you got going on the rest of your day? Pump up by where people can get a hold of you again. I know you and I are sitting down coming up here in a few weeks, I believe, live in the lab. We're going to get further into the problems you're solving, further into the $1 trillion problem you're solving, which makes me, we're going to nerd out together. I can already tell. So we're going to plug that. We'll start seeing some promotion about that coming up. So I invite people to come join that conversation with Michael and myself live in the lab with Keith Billis. It'll be an extended conversation. But Michael, what do you got going on the rest of the day, man? And the weekend's around the corner.
Well, by the time we speak, it's going to be probably a $2 trillion problem. So you might want to change copy. All right. It'll probably, I'd say that the turnover problem probably looks like the national debt clock in the US right now.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing 2 trillion is going to hit, but the rest of the day, well, I got to get some content out. I got to engage with some people that I am behind on because I've been focusing on it this morning. Have to convince some clients of some good decisions that they need to make and some bad decisions that they probably need to avoid.
Yeah.
Those are generally tough conversations because, but I kind of feel like we used to have a joke, my last corporation that I worked at, and it was actually true. My COO and I used to always say, like, to the private equity guys that own the company, hey, we should do this. And they would always be like, we'll take it under advisement. And then when it would go south and we were right, we were like, guys, we're the chief I told you so officers. So you can consider me the chief I told you so officer of LinkedIn about the problem of hiring and turnover and everything that's going to come from it as the whole ecosystem is going to shut down.
The chief I told you so officer is joining us and wrapping up your week, Business Athlete Nation, with myself, Michael, Anthony, Nicole. I'm glad everybody joined, and listen to this. Hey, is that not a better way to end the show here, Michael? I know you're dissing the elevator music. This will get you up and down the elevator.
This is better. This is much better.
Okay,
this is like Opie and Anthony vibe. I love it.
Yeah. I know how to introduce you next time we vibe together. And gentlemen, now that you guys have been in the lab, you guys are always welcome back. Always. So you know how we start our days here? We can have up to probably 1 million people in this conversation. We're here to be Keith and Nicole. We're the conduits of conversation. So we want to invite everybody in, have chats, promote, shine the light on other people. So we know the light shines on us to start the show, but then the goal is to take that mirror and shine it all back on you guys. That's our ambition. All right.
It's beautiful.
Okay. Nicole Bernard, Anthony Muhye, and Michael
Kainatsky.
There you go. Love it. I love it. Here, check this out, guys. This is something new too. Watch this. Oh. No, not this one. This one. Boom! See you tomorrow. Woo! No, you're not going to see us tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow's Saturday. No.
It's no seeing it tomorrow. So if you're watching this on the loop, no seeing us tomorrow. We will see you guys. Keith and Nicole will see you guys on, we're going to see you on Monday. Yeah. Thanks for that, Nicole. I'm just struggling with the buttons. I always struggle with the buttons every now and then.
I think you guys are ready for a producer.
We're on, dude. You're right. We're on our way. We are on our way. Yes. Yeah. I only got so many hands in my head, but we're having some fun. We're having a lot. This is all about having fun, right? So, all right, guys, have yourself a great weekend. I'm very grateful you were able to join. Watch for content from me and Nicole to get it out there and continue promoting this discussion because that's the goal of this discussion. All right.
Thank you so much.
It was awesome.
You guys rock.
All right, guys. Take care.
Nice to meet you.
Take care. Ciao.